स्वामिन्निति नामिनी। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सखगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सखगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरा परम कृष्णा सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंदा सर्व कारण कारणम। Hare Krishna. By the mercy of the Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, we are in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the universal form, Viswarupa. We finished 12 slokas in this chapter, which has got 55 slokas. Now we just started understanding about Krishna's universal form, because Arjuna is now seeing Krishna's universal form, because Arjuna asked Krishna to show his Viswarupa, and then Krishna gave special eyes, divine eyes to Arjuna. So that's how Arjuna could see Krishna's universal form. But we are very fortunate that we are also able to understand how Krishna's Viswarupa, the universal form, looks like, because from Arjuna's words, basically. From Arjuna, we are able to understand. So in this Bhagavad Gita, we understand all the chapters, all the slokas, and answer all the questions asked by Arjuna. So when everything becomes very, very clear to us, so now we will know very well, beyond any doubt, without any confusion, that Krishna is the only person whom we should please. So the goal of our life is only to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Since Krishna is the Supreme God and He loves us so much and He is always with us, and we want to be with Him also all the time, with Him in the sense, not in this material world with Him, but in the spiritual world with Him. Of course, even in this material world also, Krishna is with us. We are with Krishna all the time. So when Krishna said that never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, and nor in the future shall any of us cease to exist. So in the second chapter, sloka number 12, Krishna told Arjuna that natve vaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadipa na chaiva na bhavishyamaga sarve vayam atahappa. But we also understand from Bhagavad Gita that never was there a time when we existed away from Krishna. Or yes, not only nor in the future we will exist away from Krishna. So that means all the time Krishna is with us. That's what we need to understand. All the time. Never was there a time we were away. We were alone. Away means we were alone. No one can say that I am alone. In fact, that saying that I am alone, that itself is totally wrong. We are not alone. Krishna is with us. Krishna is with us. Krishna is there in our heart as the super soul. Krishna is always with us. We are not alone. So that's the knowledge we are getting from Bhagavad Gita. And also in future we will never be alone. But the problem is that we are with Krishna, Krishna is with us, but we are in this material body. That is the problem. Kshetram. Kshetra means this material body is known as Kshetram. Kshetram means the field of activities, the place of activities. That's what is Kshetram. Like Guru Kshetra, Dharma Kshetra, Guru Kshetra. The very first sloka in Bhagavad Gita, Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya, Dhritarashtra uvacha dharma kshetre guru kshetre samaveda yuyutsavaka mamakaga pandavaschaiva kima kurvata Sanjaya. Dharma kshetra, guru kshetra. So that kshetra means the place. So here this body is also kshetra, the field of activities. So that's what in the 13th chapter, the very first sloka, Arjuna is asking question that Arjuna Uvacham, Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Kshetram Kshetrajnam Evacha Yetat Veditum Ichami Jnanam Nyayam Chakesava. So Arjuna is asking that I want to know Etat Veditum Ichami. That means I want to know all these things. Etat means all these things. Veditum, I want to know. Ichami, I want. So Etat Veditum Ichami. So what all he wanted to know, Arjuna? Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnana, Nyeya. So in that case, immediately Krishna is answering in the next sloka, in the second sloka itself, in the 13th chapter. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Idam Sariram Kaunteya Kshetram Iti Abhidiyade Yetatyo Veti Tam Praguhu Kshetrajna Iti Tadvidaga. So this Sarira means this body. This body is kshetra. Idam sariram kaunteya kshetramiti abhidiyade. So it is explained that this body is the kshetra. And anyone who knows this body, yatatyo veti, tampragugu, is called as. Anyone who understands, anyone who knows this body, yatatyo veti tampragugu, Kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. So he is the Kshetrajna. So who knows our body? Like my body, I know. Your body, you know. So that way, I am the Kshetrajna means the knower of the Kshetra. Kshetrajna means the knower of the Kshetra. That means the knower of the body. That is myself, the soul. I know my body. And similarly, you are the Kshetrajna of your own body. So that's what we understand. So Kshetra and Kshetrajna. But Krishna is saying very clearly in the next sloka, Kshetrajnam chapi tan viddhi, Kshetrajnam chapi mam viddhi. There is mam viddhi. I also know. Sarva kshetreshu bharata. I also know about all the bodies. Sarva kshetreshu. So you understand, you understand that I am also the knower of all the bodies. Kshetrajnam chapi tan viddhi, mam viddhi. Sarva kshetreshu bharata. Kshetra kshetrajnayor jnanam yatta jnanam matam mama. So knowing about this kshetra and kshetrajna is known as knowledge. So already Arjuna asked questions, six questions he asked in one sloka. Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnana, Nyeya. So about the 6 things. So Krishna, just in the 2 slokas, Krishna answered the 3 things very clearly, very, very clearly. But he is going to go in detail about Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnana, Nyeya, Purusha, Prakriti, everything. But what we understand that this material body is the field of activities. It is the place of activities. This is the Kshetra. So, but Krishna is also a player here. Krishna is also in everyone's body as the super soul. So that is the knowledge we should have all the time. We should understand. So we should not think that this body is only owned by ourselves. We just own this body. In fact, we are sharing this body with Krishna. Like in a house or in an hostel or in a room, if you share with your roommate, so you always know that there is someone you are sharing the room with someone. So that way all our behaviors will be according to that relationship with that person. So here we are sharing this body with Krishna. And Krishna is there in our heart as a super soul. Isvara sarva bhutanam hritate arjuna tistat. So we need to remember, we need to recognize this fact, understand that in this body we are not alone. Krishna is also there in our body. So being inside our body, being in our heart as the super soul, so Krishna knows everything. Of course, Krishna is the knower of everything we know from Bhagavad Gita, but Krishna is continuously monitoring, recording everything. Even if we think about something, even if we think that no one knows about what we are thinking, but Krishna knows that. Because Krishna is there in our heart as the super soul. So Krishna can read our mind. So Krishna is the mind reader. Krishna can read our mind. Krishna is there. Krishna is there in our body. So that knowledge is very important for us. And in our day-to-day life, in our daily activities, we need to act according to this relationship with Krishna, who is there with us, who is there inside in our body. So that knowledge is very, very important. And Krishna is saying that Upatrishta Anumanta Bharta Bhokta Maheswaraga Paramatme iti chayuktaga dehesmin Purusharshava. So Krishna is the Upadrishta, Krishna is the overseer, Krishna is the witness, Krishna is the Sakshi. So that way, Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi, Krishna is the Sakshi, Krishna is the witness. So Krishna is Upadrishta and Krishna is the permitter, Anumanta. So Upadrishta, Anumanta, Bharta, Bhokta, Maheswaraga. Krishna is the Bharta, maintainer, Bhokta, enjoyer, and Krishna is the supreme controller, Maheswara. And Krishna is the Paramatma, he is the super soul. Paramatme iti chayuktaga dehesmin Purusharshaba. Who is all these things? Krishna. That's what we need to know. We should understand very well, without any doubt, that Krishna is there in our heart as the super soul. And Krishna knows everything. And Krishna always wants us to enjoy with him. Krishna is always the enjoyer. Bhokta. Bhokta means the enjoyer. Bhoktaram yajna tapasa. So Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. He is the enjoyer of everything. So Krishna will never ever suffer. There is no suffering for Krishna at all. Krishna is always the enjoyer. And Krishna is calling us, come on, come and enjoy with me. That's what Krishna is asking us. Come and enjoy with me. Let us enjoy. So that way, Krishna is the supreme enjoyer and he wants us to enjoy with him. So that way, we can also enjoy. But if we tell Krishna that I don't care about you, I don't care anything about you, I will go and enjoy myself, I know how to enjoy. So like that, if we ignore Krishna, and if we take our own way, our own path to enjoy in this material world, material sense objects, by neglecting Krishna, forgetting Krishna, ignoring Krishna, so then what is going to happen with us? We are going to suffer. We are not going to enjoy. We are only going to suffer in this material world. This is a dukkhalayam. So Krishna can only witness, Krishna can only watch ourselves suffering, and we cannot blame Krishna that why God is making me to suffer. We cannot even ask that question, because Krishna is asking us, you come and enjoy with me. Always think about me. Come, let's go, enjoy. Come to my place. I'll take you to my place. So Krishna is there with us in this material body, and Krishna is asking us that come, let us leave this body. Let us, when you leave this body, when you die from this body, so let's go to our world. Let's go to spiritual world. So Krishna is waiting for us to ditch this world, forget everything in this material world, and Krishna wants us to tell him that, okay, Krishna, I will come with you to enjoy. So that's what Krishna wants from us. But due to ignorance, due to ahankara, that means false ego, false prestige, if we think that I'm the enjoyer, let me enjoy myself. So, and also since Krishna is the enjoyer, we become envious of Krishna. So then that's what leads to bondage and trouble, suffering, everything in this material world, because we are trying to enjoy ourselves alone. There is a problem. We cannot enjoy, we can only suffer alone. But we can enjoy with Krishna. With Krishna we can enjoy, of course. But without Krishna, if we want to enjoy, we will only suffer. So that is the science. That is the science of Bhagavad Gita. We understand this science very, very clearly in Bhagavad Gita. So that way, once we realize that Krishna is the super soul, Krishna is the supreme person, Krishna is the Maheswara, he is the Visveswara, he is the Parameswara, he is the Yogeswara, Krishna is all Iswara. Krishna is the supreme controller. Iswara means the controller. Visveswara means the controller of this universe. That's what Visveswara, Viswarupa. So Arjuna is telling in one shloka that Visveswara, Viswarupa. Oh Visveswara, Viswarupa means you are the Lord of this universe. Visveswara, controller of this universe. And you have this universal form, Viswarupa. And Krishna is the Yogeswara, Krishna is the Parameswara, Krishna is the Maheswara, and Krishna is the Purushottama. So that is the knowledge we get from Bhagavad Gita. When we study and understand, and when we realize that Krishna is everything, and then if we start loving Krishna and do everything to please Krishna, that's it, nothing else. So what can please Krishna so much? Studying this Bhagavad Gita, that means we are listening to him. That's definitely going to please him. Because we are hearing from him, we are listening to him, we are following him. So Krishna will be very, very happy with us. And then make others also to believe in Krishna, others also to follow Krishna. So distribute this knowledge, share this knowledge, spread this message. So give this Bhagavad Gita everywhere. So that's what pleases Krishna very much. So that's why I always say that if we do this only perfectly, this service, ourselves studying Bhagavad Gita, of course every day we are studying Bhagavad Gita by Krishna's mercy. Daily we are making great progress. We are understanding so much in this Bhagavad Gita. Our faith on Krishna is becoming very, very strong. Nobody can shake. Because we are very, very philosophically, scientifically, we are very strong in our faith on Krishna, because everything is based on science. Nobody can come and argue or change our faith, because this faith is not based on sentiments. This is based on philosophy, based on our scientific understanding. So that way, if we just give this knowledge to others and get more and more engaged ourselves in pleasing Krishna, so then we will be able to really enjoy There is a real enjoyment. Happiness comes because the time in our life is very, very effectively utilized. Each and every moment is so precious. We cannot buy time. We cannot sell time. We cannot buy time. So that way, of course, we are trying to sell time like hourly basis, how much we earn per hour. What is the dollar per hour? How much hour per hour, how much we are earning? That's what we calculate. But that hour, how much service we can do to Krishna per hour? That's what we should think about it. How much we can please Krishna per hour? That's what we should think about it. We cannot waste a single second, single moment. Every time should be fully utilized in Krishna's service. Then we are going to gain Krishna's kingdom. We are going to go to Goloka and enjoy there forever. So that kind of opportunity we have received and we need to effectively make use of it. Of course, we will do it. There is no doubt. That's why we are studying Bhagavad Gita every day as a very strong, powerful team of devotees. We are committing ourselves this time on a daily basis. And many, many devotees now they are asking excellent questions. And now we have found innovative ways to get questions from even more devotees. And every day the questions are pouring in. So all are very genuine questions. Very important questions. When we study, understand this Bhagavad Gita, of course, all the questions are answered in Bhagavad Gita. We can find the answers for all the questions in Bhagavad Gita. So if all the questions are answered, then by Krishna's causeless mercy, then we will be like Arjuna. We will not have any more questions, no more doubts, no more confusion, and we will be very strong and very steady, and we can straight away serve Krishna. We can use all our energy, time, everything, resources, everything in Krishna's service. So then our life is going to be very, very wonderful. So in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we finished 12 slokas. In the 12th sloka, we studied that when Krishna showed his Viswarupa, it looked like as if hundreds of thousands of suns appeared at the same time, simultaneously in the sky. Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhave Yugapatutita Sadarshi Yadiba Sadarshi Sa Syad Vasastasya Mahatmanaha. So that light, that effulgence coming from Krishna, the Mahatmanaha, the great soul, that is Krishna, is as if thousands of suns appeared at the same time. Hundreds and thousands of suns, hundreds of thousands of suns appeared at the same time in the sky. There Arjuna could see in the next sloka, sloka number 13 in the 11th chapter. Tatraikastam jagat kritsnam pravibhaktam manekata apasyad deva devasya sarire pandavastada. So in the 7th sloka, the first line is very similar. Like in the 12th sloka, the first line, Tatraikastam Jagat Krishnam. In the 7th sloka, Krishna told Arjuna, Ihaikastam Jagat Krishnam Pasyadya Sacharacharam Mama Dege Gudakesa Yachanyad Drashtumichasi. So that Ihaikastam, Ekastam means in one place. So in this one place, Ekastam, you see Jagat Krishnam, this entire universe. So that's what here Sanjay is actually telling Dhritarashtra that what Arjuna could see, that Tatraikastam Jagat Krishnam Pravibhaktam Anekatha. So Krishna's, this entire universe was seen in just in one place, and they were, even though the same universal form is shown, but which was divided into many, many different forms. That's what Pravibhaktam Anekata Apasyat Deva Devasya. So Deva Devasya means the Lord of the Lords. So Deva Devasya, there is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in his universal form, Sarire, in his body, in the universal form, that's what Sarire Pandavas Tata. So Pandava was able to see. Apasyat. Apasyat means he could see. So Pandava, that is Arjuna. Arjuna could see there, all the entire universe in one place, divided in many forms, divided into many forms. So unlimited expansions. So everything Arjuna could see in the universal form. So that's what we are studying in the 13th sloka in the 11th chapter. So now actually from next sloka onwards, now Arjuna is going to talk. Arjuna is going to explain. So from the 15th sloka onwards. So one more sloka Sanjaya will talk, and then we will understand more about in the universal form what all Arjuna is seeing. Hare Krishna. I will stop now, and by Krishna's mercy, we finish the 13th sloka in the 11th chapter, and we will discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.